Hello, brothers and sisters. The title of the message today is Returning to the Source of Life, Book 3, The Abundance of Life. Number 5, The Christ who is the Bread of Life. Number 3, all other people left Jesus. All people said Jesus said very abstract words, empty words. And they all left, and only disciples were remaining. His disciples were grumbling about this. How can he eat the flesh of our teacher? Jesus said, "Does this offend you?" Disciples could not say, "Yes, your words offended us." But Jesus knew their mind and said, "The words I have spoken to you are spirit and they are life." Jesus said, "Spirit and life," and the spirit is not ghost, but it is oil and essence. If he pressed and twisted the sesame oil would come out, and that oil was expressed as spirit. The words that I uttered is the life and the spirit, he meant. The words that I uttered is the oil which was twisted and squeezed. He meant the things that were inside were squeezed out. The spirit I am uttering is the life. Gethsemane means oil squeezing machine. There on the mountain, Jesus prayed, sweating a lot. He prayed on the Mount Gethsemane, which means he squeezed the oil at the squeezing machine. What will come out if he squeezed Jesus? The Spirit of Jesus will come out. We don't know anything about the Spirit of Jesus. If he squeezed Jesus, what will come out? On the cross, Jesus was squeezed just like the sesame in the oil squeezing machine. People were waiting, saying to themselves, what will come out from crucified Jesus? If you are Son of God, you jump down from the cross. If that will believe in you. You insist that you are Son of God, then come down from the cross. Only then we can believe in you. People would say to sesame, if you're sesame, then give us some sesame oil and squeeze. Then sesame oil will come out. People said, Jesus, if you're Son of God, give us some of your oil. Show us the truth. What is your real being? Then come down from the cross. Only then we will know you, and if you're Son of God, you can come down from the cross. With that evidence, we can say you're a Son of God. But if not, how can you say you're a Son of God? They squeezed Jesus until oil could come out. Why do people roast sesame? It'll make the nutty taste. Not only that, only when we roast the sesame, more oil will come out. If you squeeze the raw sesame, we cannot get much oil. People roast sesame in order to get a lot of oil. If people roast wild sesame and get oil, the quality of the oil will be ruined. It'll become rancid. If it gets 170 degrees centigrade, cancer-causing material will come out. Therefore, we must intake wild sesame oil in raw state, not the heated state. At the oil-producing place in the marketplace, they're unwilling to squeeze the wild sesame for us. Getting oil from raw wild sesame is difficult, and they cannot get much oil. Even though they may squeeze, it would be very difficult to get the oil. Jewish people try to get oil from the raw Jesus, so they could not get any oil. Therefore, they nailed Jesus on the cross and squeezed. Only on the cross, human oil can be squeezed out. Through deep tribulation, that person's oil will come out, not in the comfortable environment and situation. Right there, the truth of that person can come out. The truth means the oil. Jesus said, the words that I have spoken are my spirit and the life. The reason Jesus said, you have to eat my flesh means you have to drink my oil. What an extraordinary state that he had to say that. No matter how hard Jesus tried, but people did not believe in Jesus. So Jesus offered them his flesh. If I do the counseling with a person who fell into the spiritual death, oftentimes it is so hard to say, I could never give him comforting words. What can I say? I have to squeeze my oil. I have to squeeze all of my oil. Only then I can save that person. That person is in despair and came to me for counseling. Suppose I go to him with the raw beans. Can I give him comforting words? Even though I may give him comforting words, can I save his life or fail? If I meet some people, some of them are so difficult. If I listen to his difficult situation, sometimes I sympathize him. This is exchanging sympathy. I have to pour my oil. Just with sympathy, we cannot save people's life. In order to save people, oil must be squeezed. Without squeezing oil, we cannot go to people to save them. One time, I faced a great trouble. I could not reject going there. One elder of our church came to me and said to me, let's go together to my hometown. So I could not reject his proposal. I was so much agonized as I did not have any spiritual gift or power, and that person was a patient who was about to die soon. I did not know what to say to her. I did not know what to do. As I was riding a train, I was thinking about what to say all the way, but I really didn't know what to say. At the end, I said to myself, well, I have no other choice. I will go there anyway. I could not prepare anything, but after she listened to my personal testimony, she said, after listening to Pastor's personal testimony, I have no spite against God, even though I may die tomorrow. It's okay. Wow, it is not an easy matter. Jesus said, the words that I have spoken to you is the spirit and the life. You have to eat my flesh. If you eat my flesh, you can get eternal life. His disciples said, how can Jesus let us eat his flesh? Isn't Jesus a cult leader? His disciples were bewildered. How can we eat the flesh of our teacher? Something must have gone wrong. Did we choose the wrong teacher? Their thoughts were so complicated. It was not a clear answer. The words I have spoken is spirit and life. Disciples must have felt so stuffy. They could not give up. So they followed him anyway. How could they eat the one who said, I am the spirit and life? How could they eat the one who fed 5,000 people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread? How can he become my food? How can we digest him? We cannot eat and we cannot digest him. If I eat him, I'm going to die. Jesus could not come down from the cross, so I can eat him, and if not, I cannot eat him either. It is so important and it's so easy, but that sounds so strange. I cannot eat gruel or porridge for patients. Where can you eat Jesus? I have to digest him in my body. What kind of Jesus can I digest? Just believing in him, is that enough? If we watch CBS or CTS, Korean Christian TV, their main theme is the faith. People must believe. People must believe. They repeat and repeat. They believe what they like to believe. There are certain things that people really cannot believe. Believing in Jesus seems to be easy, but sometimes actually believing in Jesus is so difficult. Actually, Jesus is an entirely different person. How can he believe in him? But at the position of the cross, we can believe in him. We can eat him. It is possible for us to eat him. He and I are the same. We have already eaten him. It means he already came into myself. He and I are the same. We have the common ground. We have the contact point. We also have weak points. Before he was too perfect, I could approach to him. Wow, he has certain areas that we can approach, but now I have contact point in himself. Now I can approach to him. Only then we can eat him. If not, we cannot eat him. How can I eat Jesus? Jesus is a person who can turn plain water into wine. How can he eat him? Jesus brought plain water and told people to drink. It could turn to wine. How can I eat such kind of man? If I try to mimic, other people will say he's insane. I have no courage to mimic. But if I mimic, won't I experience this shame? But after looking at Jesus on the cross, I was able to say, oh, Jesus is in that position. He's calling me. I can go there too. That is my destiny. I can digest him. He has that kind of aspect too. He cannot come down from the cross. I mean, I can digest him. People mocked at him, shouted out loud, expected a little bit, please come down from the cross. But Jesus could not come down from the cross. What a regretful thing it is. How wonderful it would be if he could proudly come down from the cross. But he could not. Disciples also thought, we didn't know that. We really didn't know, even imagine that Jesus couldn't come down from the cross and died. They were so much disappointed. But then he showed himself up there. It was inevitable. But that man is me, myself. I didn't expect that man, but that man is me, myself. I did not like him, so I came out from the garden. The one who could not come down from the cross, as I hated that man, I took the fruit of good and evil, even though God warned me not to eat. God warned, if you eat of it, you will surely die. As I took the fruit, I was cast out of the garden. Why did Adam disobey? Why did he rebel against God? He had enough reason for that. He might have done the same thing. Jesus also said, Father, if it is all possible, may let this cup pass by. Didn't Adam pray that? If it is all possible, let this cup pass by. All other things are okay. Can't you give me something else this time? Anybody could have said that. But as Satan approached to him, he said, don't listen to that word, but listen to me. If you listen to me, you can become like God. Don't worry, if you eat of it, you can come down from the cross. Even though you may be crucified, Satan deceived him. Thus Adam listened to Satan, Adam ate the fruit, and because of being careless, not because of lacking the faith, he had everything. Adam had all the good things like other people. Some were martyrs, some were people with strong faith, but they wanted to avoid the issue of not being able to come down from the cross. That's why Adam listened to Satan's words. In Jesus, who could not come down from the cross, right there we can lead our true life. That is my true position, but we did not like it. We hated that place. Man was created to receive one limitation inevitably. The soil must receive the limitation that it must receive the seeds that are sown, whether soil like it or not. A woman must produce a baby according to the seed that are sown. Even though the woman was raped, she cannot avoid. As she had that kind of destiny, she cannot lead her life according to her own will. That is man's position also. Therefore, we must accept our limitation. We have no other way but to accept that limitation. If we reject this limitation, we are no longer human being but God. Acknowledging I am one of God's creature is acknowledging I was created in this limitation. Acknowledging I was created in this limitation is acknowledging I am one of God's creatures. Well, we cannot cannot do that from the beginning, but our beginning as such. We acknowledge the fact that our destiny is inevitable. As I look back, I found out the fact that I am one of God's creatures. There is God above me. God was existing before me. I acknowledge the fact that all my complicated brains were all arranged. With knowledge, my brains cannot be arranged. It is simple, but it can last all through my life. That faith grew up, but the path was just one path. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 spread all over Bible. Jesus is the bread of life that we can eat, but we became deviated. I wanted to become independent. I came out from the garden because I wanted to become independent and lead my life according to my own will. But it was the thorn field. There was no other way. And the result was Cain and Abel and the good work of Nephilim and the Tower of Babel. There is no new things under the sun. After leading whole life, only Tower of Babel will be remaining. We have to keep this one position. This is one position, and the position that we can turn thanks to God eternally, and our glory rests upon. Our glory is right there at that position. No matter how hard we may seek for our glory, you can never find our glory elsewhere. The theme of the chapter 6 of book of John is the Christ who is the bread of life. Christ who is our food. Christ who is the food that is coming down from heaven. Christ who came to save my destiny. Christ who provided food to me, and Christ who let me meet God. Eating Jesus is so important. Believing in him is important, but that's not enough. We have to eat him. Only then I can get the rest and peace. Just believing in him, there is no peace. We don't know when our faith will be broken, and I cannot measure the depth of my faith. Even though I may believe well enough today, but there is no guarantee about my faith for tomorrow. Today I may do well to God. There is no guarantee about my behavior for tomorrow. I feel restless about tomorrow. I cannot get the rest. If we eat his flesh, we can get the rest. There is the union, the secret of union. We are two, but one. It is so mysterious. Jesus and me are different, but one. If you go to the position where Jesus could not come down from the cross, we are one. If we eat this Jesus, we can become one. In spite of fact, we don't become confused or mixed up. This is Charles Seddon principle. Independent each other, separate each other, they cannot become one lump. They are one, but not one lump. Thank you, hallelujah. May God bless every one of you. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you.